Okay, here is the truck. We're going to try and put the SPD turbo exhaust valves on. It's a 2019 F-150 Raptor. Okay, this is what comes with the SPD Performance Turbo Exhaust Valve. And this is what I'm going to attempt to put on my 2019 Raptor. We'll see how that goes. I'm going to try to do it by myself. And I anticipate it being quite difficult. This is going to go at the bottom of the turbo. It's supposed to be a bigger opening, a lot more power. They say about 20 horsepower gain. It's the gaskets for it. This came with the kit. Some kind of torque bit. This is what fits into these right here. Goes in like that to help get those off, and I know those are going to be difficult to get off. So we got 4 of those in case they get stripped, which they probably will. 4 new nuts, 2 gaskets, 2 valves, a torque bit, a socket, and a sticker. And all that is going to go on this Raptor. Hopefully. Okay, this is how far I've gotten so far. I've gotten the bottom bolt out without having to use heat. But this top one is really hard. You can see I got the stud extractor on there right now. And I had to add some heat. And I'm working it out. Sometimes it's easy, and then on the next rotation it's really hard. So maybe it would have been better if I'd have left the other bolt in. See how this thing is moving when I try to torque on it. Should have left the other bolt in a little bit. Just a little tip. If you're doing it by yourself, if you're doing it, put the bolt, loosen it up, but leave it in so this bracket doesn't move on the cats when you're torquing on it. Alright, I'm going to keep going here. Okay, I got the driver's side done, and yes, it was hard to do. Totally doable. And I did have to loosen up this bolt right here on the downpipe, and then use a ratchet strap to lower it to get access to change it. Right now I'm working over here on the passenger side. You can see I've got the adapter off. I've got it lowered with a ratchet strap, and I had to loosen up these bolts right here just so I can move this thing down. And I'm going to put the new adapter on, get this side finished up. If you want to know how much force you got to use to get these studs off right here, just look at this. This was the extension I was using, and it broke it completely off. I did have to use a lot of heat. This was on the passenger side, the top stud. I used that torch right there, heated it up for about 2 or 3 minutes, but all that force snapped my extension. Definitely use these. This little piece that comes with the kit. I wouldn't even waste my time using that one. It's not going to do anything to get them off. This thing works great. It's a tight fit getting it up there. And you got to crank it and crank it and crank it, and you think you're going to break it, but eventually it comes off. Just takes patience and a lot of pull, a lot of effort. This one does work good putting it back on, but definitely not taking it off. Just go straight to this guy right here. It didn't even damage Didn't even damage them taking them off. Just put them on there one time so you can see the threads. Could probably still use this. So, that drive is a good tool, stud remover. Okay, this is all the tools I used to install those SPD turbo exhaust adapters. I'm going to show you exactly what you might need before starting this job on your own. The jack I used to hold up the downpipes, to kind of jack them up and hold them in place while I could get the turbo studs back in. I used that one on the passenger side. If I'd have used it on the driver's side, it would have been easier. If you're just doing it one person, the jack comes in handy, but not a necessity. The light is definitely good to help you see. A couple of hammers and a pipe to loosen some rusty bolts. The bolts on the downpipes that you have to loosen that connect to the muffler. You definitely need a breaker bar. And this pipe comes in handy, especially when you're taking off the studs on the turbo adapters. The breaker bar, the heat, the propane torch. I had to heat 2 of them up, 2 of them I didn't. The WD-40, should put that on the night before to loosen them up. The ratchet strap, this definitely you need to kind of pull the pipe down, and so you can get the old exhaust adapter off, and then release it and put the new one in there. A couple of different ratchets. The adjustable wrench, the locking wrench, you definitely need this when you're using this right here, the stud extractor, to get it off once you have it out, and also to put it on there and tighten it up. It's not a lot of room when it's up in there, but you need that. The impact definitely helps. And all of these long extensions, you're definitely going to need these with these curved socket extensions here. These curved ones, you're going to need all of these. You have to put all of them together. And just to show you how much force it took, when I was taking one of the studs out, it broke it right here. I don't know how much force that is needed to break that, but I was having a difficult time with one of them, and that one just broke right off. There's a lot of force. I was definitely using the pipe, putting it on the end of the ratchet, and I used a lot of heat, and then kept cranking on it just one click at a time. So if you're stuck on that one, just go one click at a time. I use these to put some nuts in to keep up with those. This is pretty much worthless. This comes with the kit, the SPD kit. It will not remove the studs, but it is helpful putting them back on. The socket you definitely need this 15mm deep socket. You gotta have that one. I used a 10mm, a 13mm, and a 15mm, and I even broke this 13mm here. This right here is absolutely necessary. And the wrenches that I used was a 15mm wrench. These are 2 15mm wrenches, and that was just to loosen up the catalytic convert. The cats on the downpipes, to loosen those up so you can move them down. This makes it a lot easier rolling in and out. Here's the old turbo exhaust adapters right here, and here's the studs. You can see with that stud extractor, I could probably reuse these again. I thought it was going to tear it up, but it really didn't. But that's my old ones, and we got the new ones put in the Raptor over there. So if you got a Raptor and you're going to do this job, it was hard for me. I think if I had to do it again, I'd probably do better, but just now I'm no expert mechanic, so I had to take my time with it, and I did it by myself, so if you have two people, it would definitely help. Alright. Okay, here's a bonus safety tip for you. If you're going to use ramps and lay under the truck like I did, it's probably a good idea to wear some safety glasses. While I was underneath the truck trying to get one of the studs out, a screwdriver fell down and hit me right here in my eye. You can see it's still black after a while. I was trying to tighten the ratchet, the stud remover with a wrench. I put a screwdriver in there to hold it tight. And then I had to use both hands, and when I got it cranking it, the screwdriver fell and hit me right in the eye. Pro tip. Okay, you may be wondering whether it's worth it or not to add the SPD turbo exhaust valves. I did do a 0 to 60 run before I added them, and then I did another one after I installed them. On the first run, I got a time of 5.955, and the second run with the SPD valves added, I got a time of 5.755. So I gained about 0.2 of a second. Well, exactly 0.2 of a second. So that's not too bad, really. You do also gain some good turbo noises with the valves. I have also a cold air intake, and I have the AMS boost tubes. That also does help with the sound, but the sound you get, the turbo noises, almost makes it worth it by itself. Okay, that's going to be all for this video. Thanks for watching, and I hope some of this information helped if you're trying to decide whether or not to get the SPD turbo valves for yourself. So, until next time.